Alright everyone, I couldn't let Titans have all the fun with the brand new Slayer's Fang shotgun. Of course I had to come make one with the Warlock. The shotgun has a lot of build potential, and I wanted to stick with the theme of it being a shotgun, and that's what you're going to see in this video. This build is honestly very strong and some of the most fun I've had on a Warlock in a while. It can get you through pretty much any content in the game, and you can have a blast while doing so. This one is going to be reliant on the shotgun, but a lot less like the Titan build. When you have ammo, you're going to feel like an absolute god, but when you run out, you're not going to lose that fantasy as much as you do with the Titan build. With that being said, both are still very strong, and if you haven't seen the Titan build, definitely be sure to go check it out. But really quick, if you are looking for people to do the new exotic mission with or just hang out with the community, I do have a Discord server. One of my goals for 2025 is to make it active, not only for news updates, but of course also us just hanging out and playing games with each other. I would love to have you over there, and I truly appreciate if you join. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff. It really does go a long way in helping the channel out, and I truly appreciate that as well. But without further ado, let's jump into one of the most aggressive Warlock builds I have ever played. All right, starting off, I think we need to take a quick look at the Slayer's Fang. I'm not going to go into this too much since I kind of did that in the Titan video, and I'm sure a lot of you watch this kind of know what it does by now, but just know that when you get a kill, you're going to get Nightsworn Sight, you're going to increase your low speed, precision damage, true sight, and you also have the sub-munitions that can stun overload champions and also deal additional damage to kill enemies. And then to wrap that all up, the sub-munitions, while you have Nightsworn Sight, will also weaken target. So it's just a very, very effective Void shotgun, and it plays heavily into the Void subclass. Now, to play into the shotgun fantasy with the rest of our subclass, we're going to be taking Controverse Hold. This has the exotic perk Chaotic Exchanger. Resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade with Chaos Accelerant. Charge Void Grenades, return grenade energy on hit. To get a better understanding of this, we will need to take a look at the subclass really quick. Obviously, we're going to be taking Chaos Accelerant so we can charge our grenade up, but we're also going to be taking Magnetic Grenade because that's going to turn it into a handheld supernova. With this handheld supernova, every time you charge grenade up, you're going to release this short shotgun-like blast that can actually do a ton of damage. Even in things like GMs, you can do a hefty amount of damage and even one-shot lower tier enemies. And pairing that with Chaos Accelerant, you're going to get that increased grenade recharge rate, and you can spam this quite a lot. Of course, we're also going to have Devour with the setup, so that further plays into getting that grenade energy back. But on top of just getting grenade energy, Controverse Hold also grants you 20% damage reduction when you are charging the grenade up. This is nothing to be slept on, and if you are rushing with a shotgun, this is a nice benefit to have. You can just charge your grenade up, get in there, you're going to take that 20% reduced damage, get a kill, you're going to proc Devour, you're going to get all your health back, and you can keep this loop going over and over again because of all the grenade recharge rate you're going to have. However, while the grenade is cooling down, you do have access to Slayer's Fang, which again is also literally a close range shotgun, so you can absolutely destroy people at close range with that as well. If you have the Catalyst, I would definitely recommend taking Repulsor Brace on this, because not only are you going to be getting full health, you're also going to be getting overshields with the rest of this subclass setup. And even just with the gun alone, with its ability to apply weaken, you can take advantage of Repulsor Brace even if you don't have anything else going into it. Just with these two exotics alone, your exotic armor is giving you damage reduction while also being able to do a lot of damage, and then your exotic shotgun's obviously able to do a lot of damage, but it also has the benefit of giving you some survivability with that Void Overshield. It's a perfect combination that fits the theme of this build so well, and it is a ton of fun. Now, to further amplify all of this, let's take a look at our subclass. Obviously, we already went over Magnetic Grenade and Chaos Accelerant, but to get Devour, we are going to be taking Feed the Void. So defeat a target with the Void ability to activate Devour. Your Devour effects are improved, restoring additional health and grenade energy. So this is great because now every single time you get a kill with your handheld supernova, obviously you are getting Devour, but the very strong benefit of this is the fact that you are going to be getting that additional health and grenade energy. Every class can get Devour, but with Feed the Void, Devour is just absolutely disgusting on the Warlock. Pairing this with the grenade regen you get from Chaos Accelerant, you can spam these handheld supernovas all the time. And again, if there ever is any downtime, you do also have the shotgun since you're going to be at close range anyway. You want to feed a ton of grenade energy not only for damage, but also for the survivability aspect, because again, you will get that 20% damage reduction while charging the grenade, and obviously when you get a kill with Devour, you will heal to full. Now for your other abilities, I do just take a Healing Rift. It's honestly up to you with whatever you want to take. If you want to swap it out for Empowering, since you already have Devour for your survivability, that's totally fine. You can do more damage with the shotgun in some boss scenarios since you're going to be up close. You can just throw the Empowering Rift down, do a lot more damage. Now, for the melee, honestly, the Pocket Singularity really isn't the greatest. In fact, it's kind of bad since it's a very close range build. You kind of push enemies away. So I would only ever really recommend using the Pocket Singularity if you know an enemy's weak. It will just secure the kill, so you can proc Devour with Feed the Void, because you don't really want to push the enemies away if both your main damage dealers are very close range. Now for the super, it's honestly up to you. Nova Bomb's probably going to be your best option, but with the amount of super regen you get from roaming supers now, Nova Warp is a ton of fun. I definitely would not sleep on this, especially since we're going to be pairing this with a bunch of super regen things, so we will just be able to spam these all the time as well. And since this is a very close range build, Nova Warp, you kind of have to use like a shotgun anyway. Now for the fragments, I'm going to go out of order a little bit so you can understand it a little bit better. First off, we're just going to be taking Echo of Undermining so your void grenades can weaken targets. This just lets your handheld supernova have the ability to weaken. Now yes, 9 times out of 10 the handheld supernova is going to get a kill, but in the cases that it doesn't, you will be able to apply weaken to an enemy and then your shotgun clean them up really quick. I thought it kind of just fit into the theme a little bit, since the shotgun obviously also just kind of one shots most of the time, but it does have the ability to weaken with the submunitions if you do have Night Swarm proc. So your handheld supernova one shots most of the time, but if it doesn't, it now has the ability to weaken. So they kind of just work the same way and then kind of play into each other. Now next up is just going to be Echo of Instability. So when we defeat a target with a grenade, we get volatile rounds. Obviously we're going to be defeating targets with grenades a lot with this build, so we're going to have permanent volatile rounds. This does play back into Slayer's Fang because now your Slayer's Fang can apply volatile, submunitions can apply volatile, but on top of that, if you do want a repulsor brace, you also will get the overshield since you are defeating a volatile target. Again, the gun can weaken and also your grenades can weaken, so you're pretty much going to always have this repulsor brace proc, which is very good. But even without repulsor brace, just having that extra volatile for ad clear and even some extra single target damage is very, very nice. Now next up is just going to be Echo of Cessation. So whenever we finish an enemy, we can make all the enemies around that finish enemy volatile. But on top of that, whenever we defeat a volatile target, we'll make a Void Breach. This is going to be very good because Void Breaches will get your class ability energy back, but the main benefit is that it's going to play heavy into our artifact. And then as another little additional benefit, I don't see a lot of people talking about it, but with Slayer's Fang, if you do pick a Void Breach up, it will actually activate Night Sworn. So this is just another great benefit to have, because you're just going to always make Void Breaches since you're always killing volatile targets, and so you can just always have the perk up pretty much 24/7. And then finally, we're going to be taking Echo of Reprisal. So Final Blows are surrounded by combatants, grants super energy. Since we're literally always going to be surrounded by enemies because you want to rush with this build, again, you have your shotgun exotic armor, your shotgun exotic weapon, you're going to always be getting benefits from this extra super energy. Now this is great because again, if you are running something like Nova Warp, you do get that extra super energy on its own because it's a roaming super. So now pairing these two together with the playstyle of this build, you can just spam supers as well. And again, Nova Warp kind of has this shotgun feel, but if you do want to take Nova Bomb, I totally understand, just to do a lot of damage, but I think Nova Warp definitely fits into the theme of this build a lot more. Now on the topic of artifact perks, let's actually take a look at these. We have a bunch of new ones from this act. So first off is just Frenzied Hunger. So whenever we get Rapid Final Blows while Devour is active, we're going to get increased reload speed and handling. This is great because we're going to be able to reload the Slayer's Fang extremely quick. If you remember, with Night Sworn, getting kills will also grant you increased reload speed, which is great. So pairing that with this, you can just reload the thing extremely quick. Plus having that extra handling is great for a shotgun. Now next up is just Void Renewal. So whenever Devour is active, Void Weapon Final Blows have a chance to generate a Void Breach. Again, Void Breach is going to be very good for not only proccing your Night Sworn sight, but also getting your class ability energy back. Pairing that with Cessation, you're going to be making a ton of Void Breaches, and the Void Breaches are very nice as well because of things like Old God's Right. So whenever we pick up a Void Breach, we're going to be able to spawn this Void Circle thing that's going to just shoot down Seeking projectiles that can do a decent amount of damage. But then on top of that, we can also use Supernova. So whenever we pick up a Void Breach, our next instance of Void damage will apply Weaken. Obviously, our grenades and weapon can already apply Weaken, but this is any instance of Void damage. So even the Seekers, they will also apply Weaken any Void damage you do, even your Pocket Singularity. And since you're always picking Void Breaches up, this is just a great benefit to have. So again, picking up a Void Breach, you're going to spawn the Void Circle that does damage. You're going to be able to apply Weaken with any Void instance of damage. You're going to get Night Sworn Sight, and you're going to get class ability energy back. Now, next up is just Power from Pain. So Rapid Final Blows against weakened combatants grants you Devour. You don't really need this. This is, again, just kind of like a safety net. Obviously, you get a grenade kill, you're going to just guarantee Devour. But if you don't have an ability, maybe you can get a bunch of weak kills with your shotgun. It'll grant you Devour. If you want to swap this out, you totally can. This is just, again, a safety net thing to have, just so you can keep the gameplay loop of the build going. And then finally, a very important one is actually the thick of it. So Rapid Final Blows are surrounded will grant you an armor charge. Since you're literally always going to be surrounded with this build, you're going to have permanent infinite armor charges now, which is very, very good. And again, you also are getting the benefit of extra super energy while you're surrounded. So it is very, very crucial to be very aggressive with this build. Now for stats, I would just go with 100 resilience, get your 30% damage reduction, 100 discipline, so you can be sure to always have your grenade up at all times. I then just go into recovery because again, your melee doesn't matter too much with this build. Having an extra rifts is going to be nice, and this can also play into some of our armor mods, so I would definitely recommend just putting the rest in recovery. Now for the armor mods, this is what I'm running if you would like to copy it down, but getting a closer look, first off at the helmet, I'm going to be taking a harmonic siphon, so rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. This is great because now our shotgun can make orbs. Those orbs are going to grant you super energy. On top of that, it will also grant you armor charge. Pairing that with the thick of it, you literally have infinite armor charges. Next up is going to be special ammo finder, so we increase the drop chance of special ammo on kills. This is obviously very good since our whole build is based around using special ammo. You want to be able to get as much special ammo as possible. Next up is ashes to assets, so whenever we get kills with our grenade, it's going to grant us additional super energy. Again, this is very strong because we're going to be getting a ton of grenade kills with this build. This also further plays into Echo Reprisal because you're going to be close to enemies anyway, and you can really feed that Nova Warp energy. Now for the arms, we're going to be taking a harmonic loader, so we increase the reload speed of our void weapons. Pairing this with, again, our artifact perks, the Slayer's Fang in general, you can just speed reload the Slayer's Fang like crazy. Buzz rate detonation and momentum transfer, so if we deal damage to the grenade, we're going to get class ability energy and we're going to get melee energy. There's really nothing else too crucial to take here, so I would recommend just taking these. It's just, you get some additional energy since you're throwing your grenade all the time anyway. It's great to have. Now for our chest piece, always go with resistant mods. Just be sure to swap these out whatever content you're going into. And then for our boots, I do like to take triple void weapon surge just so we can make that Slayer's Fang do a lot more damage. Again, you are going to have infinite armor charge with this, so you pretty much will just always have this 22% increase in damage. Now if you don't want to worry about the damage, you can opt in to take other or pick up mods just so you can spam abilities more often, but since I want to make it more of a weapon and ability based build, that's why I'm opting just to take triple void weapon surge. And you can also pair this with the void heavy to take advantage of that as well. Now for our class item, I do like to take a time dilation, so my decay and armor charge stacks just last a little bit longer. This is just great because that just means our void weapon surge will just last longer. But the main benefit is that I also am going to be taking special ammo finisher. Now I know this might seem weird since we are taking a armor charge based thing that does damage. You don't want to really get rid of your armor charge, but again, with all the orbs we're making and with the thick of it, you literally don't have to worry about it. I'm not trolling when I say you have armor charge all the time, so you're literally always going to have this damage increase. There's never a single time, even if you use special finisher, you will get an armor charge back. You don't have to stress about it too much. But with this, if you have 3 armor charge stacks, it is actually going to make you special ammo. Since they take longer to decay, you will just be able to get that 3 armor charge stacks pretty much all the time, and you don't have to worry about it ever going away, so you can just always make special ammo. And again, with thick of it, all the orbs, you will also still permanently have this damage increase because you will at least have 1 armor charge pretty much 24/7. The reason I do run this is because it is very crucial to have special ammo with this setup, and you don't want to ever get in a situation where you run out of it and then the build kind of falls off. But again, with this one, you do have access to your Controverse hold, so it still performs pretty well. But with something like the Titan build, if you do run out of special ammo on that one, the power of it does go down dramatically. But now for our final mod, I do like to take a powerful attraction just so I can pick up all the orbs around me whenever I use my class ability. Since we do have a lot of recovery and also picking up void breaches grant you class ability energy, this is just a nice little benefit to have. You can pick up some orbs. Again, that will grant you super energy, grant you armor charge, and all of the sorts. Again, just another further thing playing into, you will pretty much always have armor charge for your damage and also to make special whenever you need it. I will say, as a tip, I would absolutely never try to finish enemies unless you are completely out of ammo, you're at 0 ammo, then go use the special ammo finisher, because again, you want to try to keep up your void weapon surge as much as possible. But for the final part of the build, I forgot to do this in the Titan build, but this is the transmog I'm running. I kind of mixed like a dragon vampire theme. I tried to just make it look very aggressive. Actually, it turned out looking pretty sick, and if you want to make your warlock look like this, definitely be sure to copy it down. But all right, that is going to do it for the build. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. Do I think this is the best warlock build out right now? Of course not, but it is a ton of fun, and it's still very strong. Even if you didn't want to take the handheld supernova and just take something like a vortex grenade, you could totally do that as well. But playing into the theme of it, I think it is better to take the controversial, but I know a lot of people don't really care about that, so it's totally up to you on what you want to do. Either of them will be very strong, and if you ever just wanted to turn your support warlock into an absolute W key unit, this is definitely a build I would highly recommend. Anyway though, that's going to do it all for me. I wish y'all the best of luck of putting this build together for yourself, and again, if you need anybody to do the exotic mission with, definitely be sure to head over to my Discord. All the links will be down below. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.